Hi there, I'm Mike Gamble from Epic Games and we're here at the Make Something Unreal Live competition at the Gadget show live. This is the culmination of a competition run by ourselves, Epic, and Train2Game over 6 months, where teams of 10 students create games based on the Fighting Fantasy IP. We're here, we have 6 days left to go before they present to Ian Livingston and Steve Jackson to choose the winner, and the winners receive an iOS license from Epic Games.
We've got all our guys here together and we're working on everything around us. It's all coming together at once. We've got our developers over there knocking about, putting the code together and just kind of making our game sing and shine. We've got the artists down here who are building our lovely graphics and making our units shine and bringing the animation together. And we've got our designers behind us who are putting the levels together and making the game fun to play.
So I guess if I'm the goodies, I feel like I'm protecting this wonderful place, and it's Emerald City or something like this. I always feel like if you can send more baddies in, maybe the whole landscape can sort of start rotting, start just feeling different.
Yeah, perhaps like as you destroy the various small towers and the main tower, make ruins and sort of make it look as though you're destroying the world.
We're working on Armies of Death, Rise of Aglax, which is we've dubbed it a tower offense game, which is your standard tower defense game, and we've turned it on its head. So you send the waves, you send the monsters, and it's turning into a really fun little game.
One of the development lessons I've learned over the last several years is, as we design a game, sometimes we want to put in 10 to 20 features, and if we work on all of those features with a small team, we wind up with 10 or 20 features that are all at 10 or 15%, as opposed to 2 to 3 that are at 85 to 90%. So bestiary to me seems like one of those things you may want to focus on a little bit later, after just getting the core gameplay up and going and making sure that there's a really tight, kind of snug loop of the tower attack gameplay that you're working on with a little bit of polish there. Something to keep in mind.
Our experience at Gadget Live is fantastic at the moment. We're only on day 2 and it's been such an amazing experience already. We just learned so much and spoke to so many people, had already amazing feedback from Cliffy B and all the other industry professionals who are here already. And even this morning we've had amazing feedback from our first presentation. It's been just incredible at the moment.
I think you've done a really good thing by focusing on tower offense or tower defense gameplay, because when people, particularly casual players, are scrolling through the App Store, they know exactly what that means and what the game mechanic's going to be, and that is a massive plus, I think. So well done for that.
Okay, I think of all the games we've seen today, this has got the best HUD by far. We know what's going on in the game. I've got a bit of a question as to how close it's tied into the IP. We can deal with that later.
Okay.
But I want to speak about specifics with how you can improve this HUD. Okay?
Thank you.
So, you were talking about you've got your castle at this end and the other guy's castle at that end, right? This game would benefit from a boxing or fighting game style power bar at the top here. So I can see my castle with my power and his power. So you can, rather than putting the small health bar over the tower, keep it on the screen all the time, because this is the ultimate overall score, yeah?
So this question that Joe's asking about, in-app purchasing and buying more stuff, right? This kind of game, you can look at it and go, right, we see how this plays, and people can look in the audience and go, yeah, I want to play that game. But whether it's any good or not comes down to the real detail of the gameplay.
Yeah.
So it really does come down to exactly how those units are balanced, how they appear, how quickly, and all that kind of thing, right? You get that. So if that's going to interact with how you're making money out of this game, like selling more stuff, you really need to have that in now. So you can play this kind of game. It's the kind of game where with the other games we had exploration, and people happily explore because that's a natural human thing to do. With this, you're talking about a really finely balanced gameplay mechanic. So you need to play it a lot more and a lot earlier in the development process to get it right.
Right, well, firstly, James done a brilliant job presenting everyone, I think. I think he should have another round of applause. The point I want to make is that your twist on this, not completely original, but I think there is a hole in the market, and then that hole is The reason I like it is that you feel like you're attacking something rather than defending it, and that's the point that you made. To be honest with you, it's a little bit of a tenuous link to the book, to be completely honest. And I think you ought to think about, as you move from level to level, exploiting a little bit more of the story of the book in any way you can. It could be some text, or it could be some images. You could, if you had all the time, and I'm going to give you like 20 features to add, by the way. You've got to be useless, but you could add a little mini game in there just to make a nod to that book. Because me as a consumer, if you ask me to buy something because it's attached to a book that I loved, or any form of merchandising, I can feel a bit cheated. You want to use the sound to solve some of your general problems. One of the things is that I love, and no one really gives credit for, is how sound can really give you a sense of excitement. So as the player is winning, I would pitch up any music or sound effects.
Epic.
Yeah, because if I'm getting, rather than, a lot of times games do it the other way around. They give you a pitch up when you're losing. But I think it's better, I'm feeling excited.
Yeah, you feel like invigorated.
I want to win, man.
Awesome.
Come on. A lot of people's playing styles, when they're using a mobile device, are different to console gaming. Console gamers tend to sit down and they play, and they'll play one game. But app and iOS players tend to play a game for 5 minutes, move to a different game. So you've got to remind people what these things are.
Of course.
When you look at them,
visual indicators, definitely.
Luckily, I got into a work experience through the course, and I've been doing. It's just been fantastic for me. I've been working at DR Studios now for quite a while on my student placement, and the things I've learned on a day-to-day basis, and because it's something I'm so passionate about, you just take it all in. You're like a big information sponge, and it's just learning and learning and learning and making yourself better and just improving, and it all goes into the games in the end. It's amazing. We can't ask for anything better, to be honest. These are the people that make the best-selling games in the world, and we hope to emulate that eventually.
I've got to say, over the months that I've been working with you, and I just tweeted about it just then, what amazing growth in the way you're presenting. It's really, really strong. So you should be very proud of yourself, because you were a lot quieter when I met you those months ago in November in Bedfordshire. I do know there was a lot of changes that we talked about, and you can't implement everything. You've had a week here to polish the stuff. What do you see happening, or is this it for the final build now? Or
now our UI is drastically changing as we speak. We're working on, instead of this hatred bar, I didn't talk about hatred, but hopefully I'll get a chance to. We will be including a face. So at the Aglax face, the zombie lord you're playing as gets angrier and angrier as the hatred builds up. So it will no longer be a bar, it will be a face to indicate hatred. Souls will be moved down to the bottom to really make sure that the player knows that souls are linked to the cost of the units.
So these are going to stay here, yeah?
The units will stay at the bottom for now.
I think John Hare was suggesting at the side.
Yeah.
I think it does give you a lot of problems moving it around.
Yeah, definitely.
And also with this interface, to move that. You've decided to keep that here.
Yeah, and this health bar will indicate the health of your tower. Yeah. Once again, taking on John Hare's advice.
Obviously, a tower defense game on an iPad or on a touch device obviously works because it's critically successful. It works well with the touch interface for the platform. I think that the fact that you play as a bad guy is pretty cool. That isn't a sort of a, I don't know, you mostly play as the good guy. All the other games today you play as the good guy, right? And now you're playing as the evil sort of overlord commanding his armies. That's a cool little twist. I like the fact that you can collect souls. Is that inspired by Plants vs Zombies, where you collect the sunlight?
Oh yeah, the souls are almost like the sunshine, exactly like that. Yeah.
Keeps you engaged as because obviously you'll get to a point in the game where you're flooded with units. You're kind of sitting back doing nothing, but it makes you do something.
Exactly.
Collect bitches. I really like that on the menu. you got the what do you call it? The info with the ticker. What's it called?
Oh, the souls or the UI. Oh, the did you know? The did
yes,
you know?
did you know that's it?
Yeah, sorry.
I think that's really cool.
Thanks a lot.
But I'd also recommend maybe putting that on the loading screen.
Okay.
To sort of, as players are waiting for the game to load, it's something for them to, whether it comes up and you wait for it to scroll through, or the player can tap through for different stats.
We're looking at what to do with the loading screen. So
cool.
Going forward is just a brilliant preparation for work in the industry and taking our games just that next level.
we chose Armies of Death as the IP that we wanted to work with. And therefore, in our game, you will be playing as the zombie lord Aglax from the book. You'll be commanding your dark forces throughout the kingdom of Alancia, destroying the towns, the villages, wiping out their people, wreaking your vengeance. Now here, we have how the game actually looks when you are playing. In the very bottom, we see the units. The units light up when they become available, because each unit costs souls. Souls are slowly incremented over time, but also dropped by enemies, which the player can then tap on the souls to pick it up.
What makes your game different to all the other tower defense games, and what will your business model be?
This is tower offense, so it's not simply defending your own tower. Rather, we're pushing beyond that, because we want to take the Armies of Death, and as Aglax, we want to make it more aggressive. Like, you're pushing forward, attacking the enemy's tower, making your way up this town and village, trying to destroy it. You're leaving devastation behind you until you get to the tower, wipe it out, and that level's yours. You've taken it over. We're really pushing on the tower offense aspect.
The screen and the detail that's on the screen. You sure this is going to translate to iPhone?
Oh, we have
too much information there for
we have been playing it on our iOS. Yeah, I have one. I don't have an iPad, so this is what I get to play it on. And trust me, I test it. I plan on testing my level, and then 10 minutes later I'm like, oh, I've been playing it. All I needed to see was if this worked, and I've tried to finish the level. So yeah, it works absolutely fine. We know for a fact it does.
Just paying reference to the book itself, how many of the characters have you left out, and how many have you had to put in because you love them so much?
We've got the zombies, the orcs, the hobgoblins, the trolls, the dragons, the wyverns. We've taken a lot of the iconic characters and put them into our game.
The winner today is Commando Kiwi. Step forward. Well done, everybody else, and do not lose heart. Ultimately, you could be the winning game. But today, Commando Kiwi was the winner.
It was a really hard decision because the four groups who had already passed through several barriers and mini competitions on the way here, they were all very talented, and the standard of games that came out were unbelievable. I mean, it would have been very easy to pick four winners out of the four of them.